So the first question I asked when we just met with Ozzy and Nicole, my question was, do you see the difference, clear difference between these two, collaborate and cooperate? Right? To understand the difference, because if we just Google this question, there will be very conflicting answers. Some answers will be that they are the same. Some answers will be not the same. Some will even say that it's collaborative that is the umbrella, and cooperative simply fits in there. And then I started unfolding this back into the past, and that somehow made sense to me. So let me share these with you. Will you all also be making your presentations on this topic and something similar, collaborate or cooperate?
Maybe we didn't decide yet.
Right?
Yeah.
I
I'm
see.
not sure yet either.
Okay.
Yeah, me too.
Okay. My name,
Oh, mine are different.
Yes, my land acknowledgement. Nowadays, I acknowledge the land just moving around and seeing how everything is. I discovered BC like I never knew, and I started traveling, not that much, but it's just the beginning. I went to Kamloops, to Manning Park. I am going to Seychelles, and everywhere I go, it's 10,000, some people say 12,000 years old land with people who lived here. And this is a treasure. And every time now I see such a beautiful surrounding, I know it's because of them that it's here, right? Well preserved, well respected, and we're just following in the full footsteps. My plan to introduce to the concepts, then compare and contrast the two, and then I have the quiz just to show to you that that's what you know from the lesson. And I also have planned one funny social experiment at the end before we hit that quiz button. And to conclude, hopefully it's your cup of tea, and hopefully my ambition is maybe even a piece of cake. Please tell me which one is which. We have two words, collaborate and cooperate. You have two choices. Team report and presentation and think, peer, share. Which one is which?
So collaborate is like think, pair, share. Cooperate is like team reports and presentation.
Any other thoughts? I know. Everyone agrees with Ozzy?
I do.
Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah, team report and presentation belong to like cooperate, like helping to each other. Think
Uh-huh.
pair share is collaborative. Yeah, I'm agree with her.
Well, you have to collaborate to create team reports and presentations. So they lead, it's a cycle actually, it leads in and out of each other.
Will it help if I show you two other images? Team report and think, pair, share. Which one is structured design? Structured as it is happening. So as it is
Think, pair, share.
structured, right? So which one would you think is more structured, collaborate or cooperate?
Cooperate.
Right?
Cooperate.
Which one is people of equal knowledge, equal contribution, and independent thinkers?
Collaborate,
Team report.
collaborate.
Here you are. The
Yeah.
confusion comes from the very meaning of both words. These words in many languages, if we have people here who speak other languages. In my language, and I'm from Georgia on the Black Sea, and we also knew Russian because we were part of that big country, Soviet Union. In both languages, there is one word, and translated, it would mean co-work. If we go back, in English, the words come very often from Latin language. In Latin language, collaborare, cooperare, both means work. One helpful hint was in 19th century when people started using the word collaborate. In the middle of 19th century, they say. it was strictly limited to intellectual efforts. It would be applicable to scientific and literature working together, collaborating as authors. Cooperate to me is a little more hierarchical approach and a little more compliance note in this word. So if we see here, achievement is when people achieve together. So a little higher order thinking to collaborate. And knowledge construction, simply they solve puzzles, they do something together, but they still have purpose and they still structured, cooperate. Please tell me, what is it that we do now? All of us together, cooperate or collaborate?
Sorry, I didn't understand the question.
So right now we're all here together in this Zoom room, and what is happening? Are we
We are thinking and we are pairing and we are sharing. So cooperate.
It is cooperative,
Yes,
cooperation.
yes, but because we are like-minded people and because we all have a lot of knowledge, we contribute to this whole thing that is happening right now. So we're elevating it a little bit to the state of collaboration, in my opinion. But it's
Yeah.
very personal perception that I have, right? Another hint is that to collaborate means to form this intellectual approach to something. Cooperate? Just structure of interaction. We cooperate because we're bringing together, let's say, pieces of puzzle.
Yes.
What about this? What are they doing?
Cooperate.
However, let's watch until the end.
Cooperate.
Yes, and there was a little element of collaboration because collaboration is strategic thinking, is forming this philosophy together, right? Philosophy,
Yes.
destroy the enemy. But technically, it's pure cooperation. See, now we're getting it. So working together, both working together. Only how? Very often collaborate. So if, for example, right now we cooperate, but if I offered you, let's write an article about this experience, what would that be? Cooperate or collaborate?
Collaborate.
Right? Because then we would bring this to the next level of working together. So as I said, both words mean to work. Labor, operation, operare, right? Both means work. I don't think they used them in this specific way in ancient Rome. Probably they used it for just construction projects. But later, so the word collaborate was first used in 19th century, but the word cooperate, I think, was earlier, as far as I remember, from 15th century, but nevertheless mean the same. Why cooperate or why cooperate in class?
Students they got bored. So
Exactly. Right? Because how is it even physically possible to keep your eyes open and to keep this attention sharp for 2 hours or more than 2 hours, right? If one person is talking. Impossible. So if we just, I selected only two notable contributors because both are so different. Many people mention, people who study education, all this, Vygotsky. Vygotsky, imagine a person who lived in Soviet Union and he died before World War II. He was born in Tsarist Russia when he was in a rich family, homeschooled, then went to Emperor University, and then revolution came, the communist revolution. And he became very devoted Marxist. It's so interesting that nowadays, when Vygotsky is mentioned in all these articles about cooperative, collaborative, and it's not communist setting, right? We're talking about very democratic classroom setting. But the guy with these ideas, he was in this suppressed environment and he died very young, only 38 years old in 1934. Hasn't finished his works. They were finished later for him. his works for a long time were forgotten because he was too advanced for his time. He first proposed working in groups together. Mostly, his thoughts were about children, especially children with special needs. Just one simple idea he had, Vygotsky, I will tell you. How come this person became such a symbolic person in this discussion, collaborate, cooperate? Because we are born, right? And then we grow up and we learn. How? How we learn? From environment, from our own head, from people around us. How? Everything, right? But he said the most important, what we learned comes from interaction. So he put interaction on top of everything. From this point of view, and people who came after him, they were arguing big time with Maslow. If you know the hierarchy of Maslow, he
Yeah.
said first physiological and then
Need,
social.
yeah,
And he said, no, social is the background of everything. Everything, because without interaction, even interaction with parents first as a baby, right? And then interaction with everyone, and that's what forms your cognitive world. Completely
I think,
different. Yes.
yeah, that's why they are calling human as a social creatures
Uh-huh.
because we are learning mostly by social
By this, right?
interaction.
yeah,
Interaction is, and you know, Vygotsky, he lived in communist Russia. First Lenin and then Stalin came into the picture. So he had completely different world. And he never used the words collaborate or cooperate. They had different meaning in his reality. The words he used? Social situation, social interaction, working in groups, studying in groups. But for his time, he was very advanced when he proposed. He was against the grades because back then the grades were not out of 100, they were out of 5, very restrictive system of Tsarist Russia. They were also using it before World War II. He wanted that to change, but other people didn't like it. He worked in the Institute of Experimental Psychology. His education, not a psychologist. First, he decided to study medicine, didn't like it, became a lawyer, and then came back to study as a doctor, not psychology, psychiatry. But his whole life he was interested in three things: literature, theater, and psychology. His most major dissertation was about Hamlet, by the way, Shakespeare. But anyway, so collaborative, cooperative. Now we can say this much. Are they the same? Looks like no. And the theory that Vygotsky was the original idea, no one before him had this theory. You see what he says? So in the center, it's what we all call comfort zone, is what I can learn on my own. Don't forget, he was homeschooled. So he might as well learn everything else in his life without a group of people because he was homeschooled, right? But no, more important is what I can learn with the help, that zone of proximal development. That's the next one, right? Do you know who belongs in that zone? So in the center oval is us, just us as a person, right? What about the next oval? Who is there? Who are the people?
People. Oh, who are
Yes.
the people?
And who are the people we can learn from?
Your family,
Uh-huh.
friends.
Family, friend, yeah.
Right?
Peers.
Teachers
Yeah,
and peers.
teachers.
That's how we fit into this theory with our idea of collaboration, cooperation. He didn't distinguish, he just said interaction. The most interesting is the outer circle. The outer circle is beyond my reach. There are two interpretations of the outer circle. The first one, beyond my reach, so it's zone of my frustration. Doesn't sound good. This sounds better. Don't you think? It's only for now, and only because I haven't decided to put my mind to it. So two interpretations, which one you like? It's the zone of my frustration that I will never learn it because physics, chemistry, biology, no way. Or not yet. The second one, right? And the outcome will always be
Not yet.
what he said is the most important, is the knowledge that is constructed together. And that's why I think it's very symbolic and very special that we are constructing this knowledge together, because our first point of interaction was that we all were confused and we didn't know that much difference. And after preparing all this, after thinking about all this, reading, understanding, I still have this question. Do I really need to know this? How would I use this knowledge? And completely different example. Spencer Kagan, American, Berkeley University professor who became very successful both financially and as a famous person, introducing his cooperative method. The website that I copied on the right side of the screen, that's what they offer. Workshops, summer camps, we come to your school and we teach you how to become the best school in your state. And they have three, as they say, three words that make the secret of this method. Here are the words. I will show the first one. Maybe you will guess the other two. Let's see the second one. Can you guess the last one? Starts with letter E. Second letter.
Engagement.
Aha.
Mhm.
That's the American approach. Both theories, cooperative and collaborative learning, they take roots not from where we first knew the words or ancient Rome or something. It's 60s, but the words they started to write articles and to use the words and distinguish them approximately in 80s. So both theories, they say that if we learn together, that will be deeper learning. What is deeper learning? We can construct our own knowledge. We can just open the internet, read a book, and construct our own knowledge, but it's constructed in interaction with other people. Let me show you this image. This is deeper learning. So what skills are involved? Cognitive can be you study by yourself or we study by ourselves, right? Intrapersonal also is personal, right? How you handle able or not able to do something. There is one more element for deeper learning, for which we need people, right? That's interpersonal. And let me ask you, are you familiar with both settings in your professional life? When you're not just talking, you're engaging people, right? Am I right? That we all use these methods, right? We're familiar with them.
Yes.
Now, the benefits. Of course, obvious benefit is higher level thinking. Vygotsky was the first one who said low order thinking. By yourself, you're just memorizing, analyzing maybe, but mostly memorizing something. Together is higher order thinking. He said it before World War II. His principal active work was 1920s, and then he was very ill. He died young, as I told you. He always knew that he didn't have long time to live. And interaction promoted confidence because people they build their strength when they have even conflict with other people, right? They need this kind of interaction. In both methods, we need to be aware of the rules that are the underlying rules of human interaction. We cannot just have freestyle interaction. We all follow the rules. For example, right now I'm the one who is speaking, right? And thank you so much for your attention. In class, we give our students the rules. We even encourage them to sign the contract, how they will be in teams. Once organized, it will beautifully work. Now let's compare and contrast. Maybe that will give us a little better idea. First, compare. What is in common? What word both have in common? Both are based on interaction, right? Because all those people who wrote about cooperate or collaborate, Many of them were so-called social constructivists. Vygotsky was the one who said, when we interact with scaffolding the ideas together. Scaffolding in that case is not scaffolding assignments, it's just building the knowledge step by step with the help of the others. Like someone is holding that knowledge ladder for you and helps you to go higher. In both, what do we have? What is common for both methods? The left side picture or the right side? The right
More
one,
so the left side.
right? And both promote what skills? Cognitive, we might as well promote, as Vygotsky probably experienced a lot of cognitive skills development when he was homeschooled. But together is never just cognitive, it's social, and then come those words, leadership, communication, miscommunication, conflict, all those words, right? Two examples. We started with these two examples, right? The team presentation, because it's higher order thinking. It's something is produced together because, as I said a long time ago, in 19th century, collaborate meant to produce something intellectual, scientific, or literary work. So both have shared goals. If you just Google, both definitions will be working together to achieve a common goal. But which one has shared values? Shared philosophy?
Cooperate.
Collaborative.
The
Think pair share.
team present,
No, it's
no, the
collaborate.
team presentation.
Collaborate,
Team
it's shared
presentation.
values.
Yeah.
Because remember, we're writing a book, we're creating music together. We're creating this presentation together. That's why I said we're now switching from simply cooperate to collaborate. And which one is which?
Sharing ideas is collaborative.
It's a cooperative, and that's
Yes.
one generating is collaboration.
I switched my typical order left and right to confuse you a little bit,
Totally not
sorry.
getting it.
Right? Because that's the philosophy, that's the value we create together. That's a bigger one to collaborate, right? And why we use both methods? Why? Because what's wrong with this situation? Picture one doesn't show. Picture two? Isn't this typical in your classrooms when you ask a question to the whole class? It's not cooperate or collaborate. You're the teacher, you're asking them a question, and always that one person answers the question before anyone else even can think. And then they're not happy. And teacher keeps asking questions, and students waiting for their turn. Now we change it. We make them face each other, one another, and then they work together. They cooperate or collaborate. Everyone has a turn. Everyone participates. Who wants to be left out? Who wants to sit in the corner of that classroom? The eyes will just close, even if they are wide open. So what skills are developed in this case if we change this, if we make people cooperate, collaborate? Not just cognitive.
Your social skills.
Exactly, social skills, right? And higher order thinking and problem solving. So if we now take them apart again, cooperative, simply to contrast that people work in teams rather than individually, simply working together. And two underlying premises. We create knowledge together. Knowledge doesn't have to be something produced by us. That's collaborate. And we share that knowledge. That is simple. Johnson and Johnson, they were very famous as the authors who were very active writing about cooperative learning in 90s. So they said team is great because together, that's a very ancient idea that together better than one. It's Three Musketeers, right? If you read that story or know that story. Together, we can win over any big army because we're together. based on that person I already showed you, the one who is more commercial and trying to commercialize this concept of cooperative learning, Spencer Kagan, he's 81 and he is still working very active in this field. Interdependence, because people together as one, not apart. Apart, nothing matters. Each person has own share, own accountability. They participate, preferably equally, of course, and they interact. Together, we earn more than one. I don't know, probably when you encourage students to work in teams, and maybe sometimes some of them say, can I just do it by myself? Did you have such a situation? And what do you say? Yes, you can or no?
I usually discourage it,
I
depending
know.
on the assignment or the activity, of course.
Oh.
If we're trying for team collaboration, then obviously
Obviously,
we
that's the
encourage,
point.
yeah.
Yeah, even the concession here could be, okay, you can work in a small team if you're not comfortable with big team and those dynamics. And then they share, and when we make assignment, look at your professional life. You will see it everywhere, how you make assignments and how you genuinely care that each person has equal share, because that's equal opportunity to shine for them and get a good grade. And they interact. So these ones, and I read that I don't have think, pair, share here, but some sources describe it as cooperative, some as collaborative learning, but I think they all are cooperative because they can be spontaneously introduced right here on the spot. People just get an assignment, they get instruction. For example, chip, I take how many chips? Maybe I have 3, and each time I put it in the middle of the table, that's my turn. Or give one, get one. We write our sentences on piece of paper, then exchange the ideas. Or fact or fiction working in groups. Or this is very famous jigsaw. Each student gets to be an expert, research, and then come back and tell what he or she learned to other people. We are familiar with all this, right? These activities. Now, the other one. We're contrasting them now. Collaborative. Same people, Johnson & Johnson, they say again that you are responsible for a piece of the product. So you have to have an outcome to produce something. You're putting pieces of puzzles together, cooperate. You create the puzzle, you're the author of the puzzle, you collaborate. You create, even if you create a little piece of something together. And it's more logistically complex, if I can say it in my own words. And each person is equal partner with equal level of everything. Typical example, you know, we love this one too, right? I wouldn't say this is cooperative activity because it involves high order thinking, involves you solving a problem. That's the outcome. In this case, it's not printed anything, but it's high effort and something as a result of that effort. Does it make sense? Or still blurry between the two, cooperative, collaborative?
It's
Are
clear
they?
totally for me.
Thank you.
Yeah, as the slides go on, it's getting much more clear.
Now, social experiment time. Because I explained everything. I tried to make it 30 minutes, but my social experiment. So I will explain the rules to you, and you tell me at the end of my explanation what activity I am offering, collaborative or cooperative. So I have a list of puzzles that are like jokes. 2 columns. One side is the puzzles or jokes. The other side is solution to the puzzles. So my experiment is this. I will randomly put people in breakout rooms. And if you agree with me to do this, so I want to put in a couple of rooms just one person, only one person. In a couple of rooms, pairs, 2 people. And in a couple of rooms, a larger group of people. Can we do that? My point is to see at the end of this experiment who does it faster, and then that team who did it, who completed the whole list, comes back from the breakout room. If you take too long, I will ask everyone to come back. So let's estimate 5 minutes, no more. But if you come faster than 5 minutes, you win. And that will show us what is stronger. Just learning cognitively by yourself or doing it together. Can we do it?
Why not? Sure, let's go.
Sure.
Of course. Of course.
So, my dear people, and also, what type of activity is this? Cooperative or collaborative?
This is collaborative.
Collaborative.
Yeah, I say collaborative because we already have the solution.
I would say it's more cooperative because you're just following my instructions. I don't give you this, sorry, it's just my social experiment. I don't give you this assignment. Please create your own puzzle, or even in teams, just overwrite what everything I said. That would be collaborative, right? You like authors working together. So let me try. And I apologize again if I put two of you, just one person in one room. But that's your challenge. Maybe you will solve everything faster. Okay? Okay, so I'm doing it now.
Yes, Deckard.
1 second. How many rooms? Let's go with 2 and then, okay, 5 rooms. What about I let participants choose the room so that I don't impose my own
Send me somewhere. Please just send me somewhere.
Sure.
It might be best if you just randomize
Yeah,
us.
just
Yeah.
do it.
Okay,
Yeah.
sure. Done. Please join. And I'm sharing the screen with you where I will show you all the puzzles.
Oh, these.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
good.
Okay, there you go. Yes, thank you.
So we have room 4.
Yeah.
And we have room 2. Melissa, Melissa, Nicole, so you came back with, where is Najibullah?
I don't know. Maybe he doesn't know how to come back.
I see, but you just came, right? That was
Yes.
3 minutes. 3 minutes. So more people, that's room
There
1.
he is.
They came first, and then 2 people came next. Okay. And then 2 people came almost soon after. So we only have 1 room with 1 person. So we need to wait 1 more minute, exactly 1 more minute, and then I will close the rooms. Actually, I can close right now because it takes 1 minute to bring people back. So I just hit the button, 60 seconds, and Melissa will be back. so that we don't spend too much time. All right, now Melissa is back too, right? So that I don't take too much of your time, I will show you the answers and you just evaluate yourself if you got everything correctly. I think, yes, probably it's all about timing. Who solved it first? So let me just quickly go to the last slide that shows the correct answers. Please count your correct answers, or maybe you say all of them correct.
Yes, done it.
Yes.
Yes. Done
Yeah, I got them all
it.
correct.
All teams got them all correct?
Yep, I think so.
Yes.
The experiment didn't contradict with anything we all know. Together better than one, and the more people together, the faster they solve the problems. These were very easy and very silly, I can even say. And just one last thing, to appreciate your time and to show again the questions, and if we can solve them, I mean the quiz questions. Just 1 second, please. Here, quiz time.
Cooperative.
Collaborative.
Cooperative. Okay, one more.
Student work together.
Cooperative.
Collaborative.
Both.
Both.
Yeah,
Both.
Both.
Yeah.
one.
Collaborative.
Collaborative.
See, they decide. They're all, everyone is the boss.
Cooperative.
Cooperative.
Oi, my mistake. Sorry, of course it's cooperative. I made a mistake.
Student years.
Both.
Cooperative.
Yep.
The teacher.
Cooperative.
I think both.
Both.
Oh,
Teacher creates the rules for both, right?
Both. The-
Collaborative. I think both.
both.
That's true.
Mm.
Both.
Both.
That's true.
Both. Both.
More collaborative
Collaborative.
because
Yeah.
it's team presentation. They decide how they want to do it, right? Or team project. That's all, dear everyone. All these activities are here to stay for active learning, for social interaction. We know from our experience just a few years ago how it felt not to be socially engaged and socially active, right? We had that time when we were all virtual creatures, not social creatures. Do you have questions for me?
How difficult was it for your research to do collaborative cooperative? Like seeing how difficult it is for us to just even like wrap our head around it. How hard was it for you to research it?
You know, we can make things difficult and start thinking too much into the topic. But then it will be interesting because I was so puzzled. I wanted to find out. So I started reading about, I don't know if you use the same approach, etymology of the word, when the word first appeared in human language.
Can't hear you. Sorry.
And then I read about this guy, Vygotsky, sorry, because I thought how strange his experience must have been. He always knew he would die, and he spent his whole life trying to help people with children with special needs and thinking how he can change things. And even when he got his dissertation defended, he was not there. So it was in his absence dissertation. Yeah, and he also very unusual that before World War II, he was sent to London. Communist countries didn't like to send people to the West. So it was difficult, maybe more interesting difficult, I would say. Now you decide how to approach. You know, we might as well create slides and just put information there and prepare how to explain that information.
When I was doing my lesson plan, I
Yeah.
saw that cooperative learning was usually suggested for younger students and collaborative more for college. But I kind of thought that cooperative sounded good to me for my college classes too. Did you kind of think about that for what you do, and what did you land on?
Yes, I learned about my life as a teacher that I use both, and I also had to admit honestly to myself that I tend to have cooperative more because it's structured, more hierarchical, and more teachers say than students say, even though we can describe it as student-centered. Collaborative is equal level of everything, and we don't get equal level of everything in class. It's so mixed, different backgrounds, different experience. So that is what I realized and just made a note for myself. So I did learn for myself a few things.
Mm.
And yes, I agree 100% that actually it is described as suitable for younger people, more cooperative learning. But yeah, I also think we use both.
Mm. And what I have learned today, it was really great. In management level, if we implement or if we see the collaborative and cooperative, we can implement like collaborative horizontally and cooperative, it is like vertical. In management level, usually collaborative use, and for example in middle level management like HR manager, marketing manager, they collaboratively work to achieve certain goal. But vertically we can see the boss help the lower level management, middle level management, even with the top level management. It show the different level of management how it use collaborative and cooperative.
So true. Even if I think about the words again, because my background is in language studies. So if you tell me to collaborate, that means we're on the same level. If you tell me to cooperate with you, that is a little bit condescending.
Yes.
We can say it's softer, hierarchical.
Yes, 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 yes.
Yeah.
Usually we can say that student work collaboratively and teacher help them cooperatively.
A very good way to describe it, right? Yes. Yeah. Um, so we have to be active in this discussion for our assignment, right? But we already were active throughout the whole thing. You participated, and I couldn't have done it without you.
Yeah, thank you so much even
Thank you.
for your good
Thank you very
presentations.
much.
We
Thank
learned
Thank
a
you.
lot.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you so
Nice to meet
much.
everyone.
Thank
Yes,
you.
thank you very much. I
Yes.
liked the activity. That was fun.
Melissa,
It was.
I'm so
Yeah.
sorry I put you alone in that room.
That's okay. That's okay. You know what? At first, when I was looking at it, I was like, what am I supposed to be doing? I'm like, oh, okay, matching it up. And I did actually skip the first two because I'm like, I don't understand what it's supposed to match up with the letters. But